Okay, here we go. Why is this so difficult? Honestly, the ADHD is ADHD and we're concentrating. We're rolling into it. Hello, and welcome to my little corner of YouTube. My name's Emily, and welcome to the Creative Spark. This is my new YouTube channel that is going to focus on everything creative uh, and my creative journey, basically. I am so nervous. Ah! I have always wanted to do YouTube, and I did a small attempt back in like 2016, 2017, but I never really had the equipment or the time or realized that I had uh, ADHD and quite literally had Ah, I need to go back. I need to go back. This is just going to be a string of consciousness, I think. It really is. I think it just needs to be a string of consciousness because a stream of string? I think it's just going to be a stream of consciousness. Yes? Girl, why do I have to give myself a pep talk to do this? Like in 2024, I just completely lost my creative spark. I and this year I'm on a journey to find it again. And I'm going to use this YouTube channel to do it. I'm not making a lot of sense. So, a few quick important things about me. My name is Emily. I am 33. I'm from Melbourne, Australia. Um, I am a theatre going, Swifty loving, nerdy, book reading girly. And I am hoping to bring all of our lovely girly comfort vibes to the creative spark. Does that make a lot of sense? I don't know. It is taking everything in me to record this introduction video. I keep starting and then I get distracted. Joys. I know the other ADHD girlies out there will completely understand. Oh, it's taking everything. It took everything in me to sit down and film this. I want to do it so badly, but everything in me is like, panic. Don't panic. Everything is good. But what do we want to know? Basically, favorite TV show is Gilmore Girls, clearly. Favorite show of all time is Gilmore Girls. Favorite artist, Taylor Swift. Favorite musicals are Phantom of the Opera, Wicked, and Waitress. I love a good nerdy book. Akatar, Fourth Wing, you know, bring it on. I've read all City of Bones. I was, I'm, as the memes say, the girlies who love Twilight, read Twilight, Hunger Games, Divergent, and now are deeply into the Akatar Fourth Wing. Smart Love and World. Yeah, I'm here for it. I'm currently reading or started the first two chapters. I'm in an Onyx Storm hangover, guys. I'm in an Onyx Storm hangover. So everyone's been telling me to read Quicksilver, so we're on to Quicksilver. And I think that sums me up a lot. I have a very nerdy side. I love Doctor Who, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, um, anything fantasy. I love the fantasy world. I love being lost in something else. I love the Witcher TV show, though I know that a lot of people who are gamers said the show wasn't that good, but I would follow Henry Cavill anywhere, as most women would. That man, I will go to battle for that man. Mm. What else do we want to know? I don't know. Anyway, that's a little bit about me. We'll obviously get more into that as time goes on. But why don't we move on to what are we doing with what you can expect on this channel to start off with this year? So, a few things that I have set up for myself. One is I'm going to be documenting my journey I decided to watch 52 movies in 52 weeks this year. I have a jar. I have a jar full of different genres of films. It has everything from critically acclaimed, award-winning movies to the top rated film on Rotten Tomatoes, cult classics, directors I've never watched before, big name, like basically big films that were important to culture or time. I've got some old film, like old Hollywood films in there, just big cultural moments that people reference a lot and I haven't seen. There's a few things in there that I saw as a kid, like Forrest Gump, The Truman Show, things that I watched when I was younger, but I haven't watched as an adult and I don't remember. I actually watched Forrest Gump a couple of weeks ago. And honestly, watching it as an adult was just an entirely different experience. Um, I will get that into that when I do a review of the first. How many have I watched already? 5. I think I've done 5 so far. Um, I did a bonus one because I was homesick this week, so I did a bonus film. But I will be doing a weekly video on each film that I watch. But because I didn't start documenting it till now, I'm going to do a quick overview video of the first few that I watched. So keep an eye out for that. I want to read as many books as possible. And then it's just about the other type of content. I want to create a weekly vlog called The Creative Hour. I'm hoping I probably won't have an hour worth of content to start off with, but basically document throughout the week things that are bringing me creative inspiration. You can find creative inspiration from all sorts of things. You can find it from just going outside into nature. I find that I am very inspired when I travel. There's something about going and getting out of your own like everyday space that I feel just like completely changes my view of the world, getting into other cultures, especially if you're going overseas, historic architecture, like all those things that I just find is like a bit of a palate cleanser going into other places you wouldn't normally be, or often just gets like things going for me. I will also say, oh, Lord, this year I want to attempt to write more. I'm not really a writer, but I have a story in my brain. It's not a story, it is the story of my 14 years situationship. Now, saying that, it was not ongoing for 14 years. It would be every couple of years we'd just kind of re-enter each other's orbit, and it was not good. It was definitely not good, but I tell the story of it to people and they're like, that quite literally sounds like a movie. Like they're like, what? Like that genuinely happened? And I was like, genuinely happened. So I will tell that story on the YouTube channel with changing a few important details to protect people's privacy, but I will tell that story eventually. But I have plans to tell it in some kind of written form, whether that's a play, a screenplay, or a book. Undecided. I've never really written anything before, so that's going to be a learning experience all of its own. I'm taking a journey into more of exploring my acting career as well. I have done musical theatre since I was 18 years old. I studied musical theatre. I went overseas and lived in London for a couple of years and studied musical theatre. I have worked with some excellent like community amateur theatre companies in Melbourne. I have my own very small, very small theatre company called Broadway Obsessive Disorder. We will be rebranding, but it started off as a one-woman cabaret and turned into a cabaret series, as well as our very first. Produced my very first musical in 2023. We produced the last 5 years. I also starred in it. And that was one of the best experiences of my life. It was messy and it was complicated and I had no clue what I was doing, but I've never felt so creatively charged in my life. And there's been certain times in theater where I've been like, this is what I was supposed to do. Like, this is what I meant to do. And so I'm going to definitely be exploring more cabarets, more acting opportunities. I've always said that I wanted to, since I was maybe when I was in high school, pre like being, I was always obsessed with musical theatre. Like my hyper focus, got the ADHD, on Phantom of the Opera when it came out as a film in 2003 was intense. Like, it is one of the most intense hyper focuses I've ever had in my life. Like wow. Just like intense. Like, I watched it back in the day when you used to have pirated DVDs, showing my age there. I had a pirated DVD copy of Phantom of the Opera that was missing the title song. It was the worst quality DVD ever. If you know the early 2000s, you know. And I would watch it every day. Like, every day after school, I would watch that crappy DVD in my living room. I would rush home at 4 o'clock and put it on, to the point where my family was going to kill me. Like, they were like, no more, no more. And the minute that came out on real, like, on like a proper DVD that you could buy from the store, my mum marched there and got it for me for my birthday. Ironically, it actually all coincided, which was lovely. But at that point, the hyperfocus had kind of like, I'd watched it so much that it kind of had dissipated a little bit, but still, I've loved theatre and musical theatre for a very long time. I actually saw Dear Evan Hansen last night and it was phenomenal. I'm sitting here with my lovely little Alphabees just sitting staring at me, my pop vinyl. Glinda's over in the bedroom. And Ray's also sitting here. She could use a dust, but she's here as well. I also have a pop vinyl arriving today, which is Penelope Featherington from Bridgerton. Honestly, that season was obviously such a, like, people either loved or hated it. I was in the love category. I was so down bad for that season. It was for the wallflowers. It was for the girlies who were always a little bit bigger, like, who were bullied. If you related, you related. And I just relate so hard to Penelope Featherington. I love her dearly. And I watched that show. Like, I've watched that season 4 times already. And I mean, as the male leads, Jonathan Bailey, sir, him as Fiero, next level. Like, I also can't believe I saw him in Company in as who was he? So, as the best friend in Company in 2018, I have a program from the West End, and like, I had no idea who he was at the time. I didn't even twig until later on that I was like, saw a video of him performing, and I was like, I was there. Like, I was there. And I will take that with me because I was so happy that I was there. The gift of the gab. The Lorelai Gilmore is coming on out. I just realized I went off on such a side quest there. This is the nature of when me and one of my best friends are avid voice memo, and we swear we just voice diary to each other, basically. I don't even know if we know what each other's going on about, but we do. I've completely lost track of what I was talking about. This happens to me a lot. What was I talking about? I was talking about Wicked and theatre and, acting. I'm back. I got there. Basically, I was in high school. I was very interested in try that again. In high school, I was very interested in exploring like acting for film, and musical theatre kind of took over, and I never really went into it. So I just thought, after doing last 5 years and exploring the acting side of things a little bit more instead of more ensemble work, I was like, I want to explore acting specifically in more detail. So that is on my list of things for this year. We might do a show. We might produce a cabaret. I might do a show with someone else. I'm just excited to do more creative things. And that's what 2025 is all going to be about. We're going to read, we're going to watch movies by other artists, we're going to go to the theater, we're going to sing more, we're going to go outside more, we're going to travel more. I mean, the travel thing will come down to, funds, but I would really like to travel more. Not that I haven't before. That's like, we can do a whole like video on the time that I lived in London and for 2 years and was broke as, but had one of the best times of my life. Melbourne's home, but London has my heart. Like, my heart lives in London. And I haven't been there since 2018 at the moment. I just went to Europe and I just didn't. I was like, you know what? I've been to London so many times. I don't need to go this time. Never regretted anything more in my life. I just need to touch London soil. Like, my heart lives there. When I went over for the first time on a Kentucky tour in 2011, quite literally, I walked off that plane and was like, am I home? Like, this is like, I've never felt more myself and more comfortable. I mean, while I was living there, like, I was broke and tired and stressed and overweight. Like, for me, um, I was eating a lot of junk and we were walking a lot. So, like, I can only imagine how many calories I was ingesting. Just wild. So that's a whole, we're not talking about that. Everybody is beautiful. Um, I'm going to wrap this up here. I've been on such a tangent. I have been on so many ADHD side quest tangents, but I hope that gives you a little bit of insight into me as a person and what you're going to get on this channel, because that's me in a nutshell. The side quests, the creative thing, like endeavors, this is me. And in typical ADHD fashion, my brain just went to This Is Me from The Greatest Showman. This is me. Seriously, my whole brain is musical. Like, I hear like a word and a song pops into my head, and then I get it stuck in there for hours, days, weeks on end. Oh, the earworms are hard when you've got it, when you've got the neurospicy brains. Okay, I am actually going to wrap this up here. Thank you so much for watching. If you got all the way to the end, I hope you will join this adventure with me. If you would like to follow along, please click the subscribe. If you would like to follow along, please hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell notification for bell icon. Okay, I really am going to wrap this up here. I've just stumbled over my words 3 million times, and we're just going to wrap it up. If you would like to follow along with my creative adventure this year, please hit the subscribe button and hit the little bell icon so you get notifications when I post. I'm hoping I'll be here a couple of times a week, and then I'll be your neurospicy comfort bestie, basically. Your little, I don't know, what was I saying? Should I say that faster? I don't know. But we'll say that again. I hope that I can be your neurospicy comfort creative bestie on the internet. And one thing I did forget to say as well is, like, I'm not much of a gamer girl, but my sister-in-law is going to try and get me into that this year. I'm going to get her into fantasy books, and she's going to lend me their Nintendo Switch and get me into cozy gaming, which I always love watching other people do that. And I'm like, I should do that. I should do that. Like, I've got coloring books. I've got all sorts of stuff. We like being cozy. I'm going to wrap this up here. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you very soon.